Hey, welcome to Backyard Grilling here on Nex-Tech Local 1, and today we're going to be outside making tacos, but kind of the star of our tacos is going to be our chicken. And we're going to do a pulled chicken, kind of like a pulled pork, but it's pulled chicken, and we're going to be cooking it spatchcock style. So it's spatchcock chicken, and what that means is basically that instead of cooking the chicken whole, standing up like on a beer can or something, we're going to cut the spine off of it. I know it sounds gross. And we're going to smash it down the grill. So they're really good. You can get a lot of flavor in them, and they cook a lot quicker than if you had them stand up and stuff. So we're going to go ahead and get started. This chicken, it was in the fridge, but it's still a little frozen, but I'm hoping that my scissors are going to be good enough that I can get cut through it. And you really want a good pair of scissors for this, because when you go to cut that spine out, it's just a lot easier to do with scissors as opposed to a knife. So we're going to see if we can get in here and cut our spine off of this thing. And like I said, it'd probably be a little easier if it wasn't quite as frozen, but hey, that's okay. Okay. All right, so we got this first side cut, and then, so we've cut right along that backbone, and then I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna do the same on this side. And if there's anything inside, as far as like when you buy it, if they put, you know, the different stuff like the neck or the heart or whatever, just go ahead and yank that out. So, like I said, we're just going to go ahead and take this side off. Just like that. And there's our backbone. We're just going to kind of sit that aside. And then, now the whole purpose of this is so you can cook this chicken flat. So we're going to kind of sit this out. Now then, so it'll go down a little tighter. We're just going to kind of push right here till that bone breaks, and it'll let that chicken kind of sit out a little bit more. So we're just going to kind of push down until that breaks, and we should be pretty good. If you need to, you can also put your knife in here and kind of give it a pop, just like so. And there, we've got our chicken is laid out and ready to go on the grill. Now then, we've got that fun part done. We need to season our chicken. And so what I like to do is I like to kind of come in here and find, you've got your skin, and I don't want to take the skin off, because when you go to cook the bird and everything, that skin will kind of help keep the moisture in it. But what I like to do is kind of work my hand in here, and that way, when we go to put our seasoning on here, we're going to put our seasoning directly onto the meat and not onto the skin. We'll put a little bit on the skin, but that way our seasoning will get down into the meat. So what I like to do is just kind of work my hand back in here so I can get to the skin. We did that there with the breast, and I'm going to do that here with the legs as well. So you can just pretty much get your hand, work it back in there. I think this way some people don't like chicken, but it's really good when it's done. So, all right, so we've got that done. I'm going to go ahead and yank this glove off, so that way I can put my rub on. And this is just the rub that I typically use for pretty much everything. at my house. I use it for pork and beef and everything. This is a rub that I make, and it's got basically a tablespoon of salt. It's got a teaspoon of pepper, and I usually use 2 kinds of pepper. I use like the hot blend and then just regular table pepper. And then it's got a half a teaspoon of garlic and a half teaspoon of onion powder. And then it's got some chipotle pepper seasoning as well. And then sometimes I'll put some chili powder in there and stuff. But usually I take that recipe times like 5 or 6, and I make a big batch of it so I can fill up my shaker. So like I said, we're just going to kind of shake that in here underneath the skin. And then we're going to cover that back up. And we're going to go ahead and put some on the top as well. These are tacos, so we're not really using taco seasoning or anything. You can use these for sandwiches if you want, but we're going to kind of go for that barbecue taste. I'm just going to pretty much season everything up, and I'm even going to season the backside of it a little bit. All right, so there we've got our chicken, and it's ready to go on. So that is what we call a spatchcock chicken. You know, I actually tried to look for like a meaning for that or something, but I really couldn't find anything that made sense. But I think what it means is to lay that out flat. But that's what you consider a spatchcock cooking style chicken, and that's instead of cooking it upright. So what we're going to do is we're just going to put it onto the grill flat. We're going to let it go for about 2.5 to 3 hours. We're going to look for a temp of about 165 degrees. Take it off, let it rest for about 5 minutes, pull it apart, and then we'll start on our tacos. We're probably going to come back. We're going to take a break now, clean up, and when we come back, we're going to make some pico de gallo to go on our tacos. So don't go away. We'll see you in a minute.
At Rogers & Associates Insurance, we serve the Midwest. We offer home, auto, commercial, and farm insurance policies and provide solid options for life and health insurance. For those unexpected life events like hail, wind, deer crashes, fender benders, and the little things in between, we can help you ensure what matters most in your life. Let us help you design a plan that meets your needs and budget. Visit us online or call us at 1-800-569-0118 to learn more.
Sometimes we settle for things that are just good enough. Good enough food? Good enough socks? But when it comes to internet and TV, good enough typically means lagging and dropped connections. Nex-Tech is the highest rated TV and internet provider. Just check Google and Facebook to see for yourself. Stop settling for good enough. Switch today to experience more and live better with Nex-Tech.
Hey, welcome back to Backyard Grilling here on Nex-Tech Local 1, and we are making chicken tacos, or more importantly, we made spatchcock chicken. So we have our chicken on the grill. It's been on there for about, I'd say about 30, 45 minutes, maybe an hour. We're gonna let it go for about 2.5 to 3 hours. We'll check the temp occasionally, make sure, you know, we're gonna take it off about 165 or so, pull it, then we can start building our tacos. But while we're waiting on that, if we're gonna make tacos, we gotta have some pico, some fresh pico de gallo. So we're gonna make a really quick, easy pico de gallo. It consists of, we have about 4 Roma tomatoes. So I'm just cutting these up pretty small. So our recipe calls for 4 Roma tomatoes. We're going to use 1 jalapeno diced. We're going to use about 1/2 cup of purple or red onion. To me, they're purple. They call them red. I don't know. So we're going to use that. And then we're going to cut up some fresh cilantro. We're going to squeeze a lime in there. and we should be good to go with our fresh pico. So this is this should be number 4 of our Roma tomatoes. Thought I'd get started so you didn't have to see me cut everything. So we'll go ahead and dice up our jalapeno. Now remember, if you want to keep the heat, then you want to keep the seeds. But we'll take the seeds out because not everybody likes it real hot. So, and we'll just cut these up into strips and then dice them up. And we'll try to cut them up pretty small, so that way if you've got a chip and you take a big old chunk of your pico, you don't burn your mouth. So we'll get these cut up real small. It's going to be kind of a street taco. We'll call it not really a street taco because I don't think they put cheese on street tacos, and I want cheese on my taco, so we won't call it a street taco. So that's a half a jalapeno. We'll go ahead and get this other one cut up. What I like to do is just cut them into strips and then go from there. So and then we're going to put a lime in there. Okay, looks pretty good. Okay, we'll do our onion. And we're looking about a half a cup of an onion. So we're going to go ahead and cut our onion in half. You know what? I was just looking on my table and I don't see my lime, but I bet it's in my cooler. Okay. It's a great thing about being outside. You just throw your stuff out in the yard. The birds will come get it. Okay. And we're going to cut up our onions. We're going to dice them up pretty small too because nobody wants to get a huge bite of onion. Looks about a half a cup. And I'm going to go ahead and dice that up even a little more too. This is, I think this is kind of an older onion. You can tell because it's pretty potent. Alrighty. So we about got our pico already here. There's our onion. Okay. And our cilantro real quick. What I'm going to do is just kind of take that top off. I don't want the stems a ton, but so if you kind of take that top, you don't get a lot of the stems. And what I like to do is just kind of bunch this up, and then I just start cutting. Just kind of keep it all bunched up. Pretty soon it'll get pretty diced up. Here we go. That's probably way more cilantro than we need. But it's kind of, when you just grab the top of it, it's kind of hard to tell how much you're going to get. So looks pretty good. So we'll put, I'd say, about that much in there. I like cilantro. So we have our cilantro. I'm going to grab our lime, just magically appeared. And I'm going to just squirt our lime in there. Let me get a fork and we'll give this a little bit of a get it all mixed up. Okay. We'll get our lime, cut it in half. All right, and then we got our lime, our onions, our Roma tomatoes, our jalapenos. We need, I like to put a little garlic salt in mine. There we go. There is our fresh pico de gallo. Kind of put it over towards the camera. So now we're getting ready for our chicken to come off the grill. I'll tell you what, when we come back from our break, we're going to be yanking that off and we're going to be building our tacos. I can't wait. So don't go away.
Get total freedom from archaic phones with the Nex-Tech Cloud Phone. Take your calls how and whenever you want. In the office, on the go, on vacation, in the car, in between all of those places, you can make the call. So check it out. And when you sign up for a qualifying Nex-Tech Cloud Phone contract, you also get some great technology free, like a 55-inch Fire TV, 3 months of Nex-Tech TV Now, and a free Samsung S10e or an iPhone XR. Yep, all of it. Call and ask about a Nex-Tech Cloud Phone today.
A step towards better health.
At High Plains Podiatry, the team's greatest joy is seeing you doing what you love to do. Dr. Rob Hens addresses all problems of the foot and ankle with leading-edge capabilities. They travel extensively, serving in satellite clinics near you. Their growth in southwest Nebraska is a direct result of the caring and personal treatment they give their patients. Let High Plains Podiatry bring the pep back in your step. Now seeing patients in Norton and Colby, Kansas. Call today, 877-345-3668.
Hey, welcome back to Backyard Grilling here on Nex-Tech Local 1, and our Spatchcock chicken is finished. I like saying that. I don't know why, but it's finished. We're gonna go ahead and yank it off of the grill. All right, now we're gonna pull it. Now, this may not be good to some people, but I dig it. What I'm gonna do is, you can see how this is just kind of falling apart, but I'm going to take some of this skin and I'm going to kind of set it aside. Might be easier. Yeah, see there? We're just going to kind of pull some of that skin. We'll pull off our wings. Whew, that's hot. Okay, that's good. So anyway, we're going to take some of that chicken, the skin. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put it back on the grill. Just like that. And we're going to cook it up like bacon almost. It's going to get really kind of crunchy. Very good. Very good. So Anyway, okay, we have our chicken here. As you can see, it is nice and moist. You know, there's a lot of juice in there. So if you wanted, we're gonna go ahead and do our chicken taco. If you wanted white meat, you could do that, or you could even go over here to the legs, pull it apart. So I'm gonna just take my pinchers, pinch some of that apart. There's some darker meat, which is better. All right, so there's that. We're kind of taking some of that apart. If you guys don't want to see us do that whole process. Then I'm gonna go down here and find my tortillas. You know, it'd be really good with this if you ever watch Local Flavor with Deb Anderson. She has a show where she does a recipe and she makes her own flour tortillas, and they're very good. So if you get a chance, watch that. So I'm gonna make up a couple tacos here. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna go, and if we wanted to, just to make sure they got plenty of seasoning, we could still kind of go back and put some of our rub on there. That way we make sure it has a good kick to it. And then we can kind of build us a couple tacos here. There's one. There's two. So there's our tacos. We need some of our, get me a paper towel here. We need some of our homemade pico. Looky there. So we have our chicken, our homemade pico. You know what we need is some queso fresco cheese, that crumbly kind. So we're just gonna take a chunk there and just kind of crumble it on there. My tacos always get fuller than what they should be. So there we go. Spatchcock chicken, and then we made our own pico de gallo and some queso fresco cheese. It's kind of a street taco. It is in my book. We'll give it a shot. Yep. It's better. Hey, we hope you join us next month. If you want to check out some of our past episodes, feel free to look on YouTube, Pinterest, Instagram, all those fun social media sites. And then make sure you join us next month for another episode of Backyard Grilling.